Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. It is Saturday, August the 2nd, 2025, and today's topic will be a continuation from a video I did yesterday, and it's going to be called How to Draw from Imagination Compositional Tricks. I'll just call it composition. But before we begin, welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new to the channel. I sketch and post every day, and I use a timer to stay focused and to build a habit. Put a before picture and a link to yesterday's video. If you want more detail, it's basically a step-by-step. I wouldn't skip yesterday's video, especially if you're interested or if you're learning. But the before picture and then this one, so this is 30 minutes. And I intentionally stopped working on it after I got this far so that I can show you in this video some ideas. I have ideas about how to go forward with it, but I think it's important to kind of show this part because again, there's a lot of information in that first one, and I find that people who are either beginners or intermediate at drawing want to skip that, or I say that from personal experience. First, the before and after is to kind of, so you can intuitively and also just analytically see how I went from that to this. Now, I looked up reference, so for example, I looked up tree on a mountain, and then it had pictures of clouds and mountains and stuff like that, or autumn leaves or like birds. So the idea is, yesterday was about how to draw from imagination. This process where I just kind of sketched something down, very bare bones, and then looked up the reference is a pretty solid process actually, and I enjoy it because it's a mix of imagination plus inspiration and reference. And I'll do other videos where you could go, and I've done some where it's you look up something and then you can kind of draw from it. I mean, there's so many different ways of doing art and drawing and stuff, and that's what makes it fun and interesting and also challenging. So yeah, with that said, let's just kind of zoom into different areas. So the materials is, most of it to begin with was just this felt tip pen, which I just call like a medium point. It's a Papermate. And then I also have a finer point. This is a Sharpie pen. So something to get a finer point. And I started using it a little bit like through here. And you can kind of get sort of a fine point you might want to just stick with one pen, and you can kind of get a fine point with this one. This is why I kind of like to use it. If you don't put as much pressure, but it takes a little bit more practice to kind of get used to that. I mean, it's not like that difficult, but just something to keep in mind. But yeah, sometimes I just like to use this because you'll always get sort of a finer line with this one. But then like for this part, like these the dark areas, I use a Sharpie paint marker, creative marker, and I'll just kind of start with that. So I'll put up a before picture so that you can see that from yesterday's video to this, and then I'll work on this some so you can, so I looked up leaves just to get an idea for it, but I'm actually going off of what I drew because leaves can look different, and if you imagine something, then, so I'm just using the reference to sort of make my own drawing, like I'm embellishing it. One, I'll just kind of demonstrate this thing. So you'll see that here, so to get this look, like thick to thin, you might want to think about it like that. So I'm going to do thick to thin, kind of like this. And I got to get like kind of warmed up. So you might want to think about so that's one thing about using these. It's nice. It has like a nice look because basically you're getting that shape by just using the brush. So that's kind of nice. You can also just sort of outline things kind of like this, but just kind of give it some thought. I mean, it takes a little practice, and if you don't want to do this, so here, for example, I'm just going to go from thick to thin and not go too, like, not stress out about it. Just kind of leave it. Don't overwork it. So you can see that it's basically drawing itself, although the positioning of it is drawing where you place the leaves. If you didn't have that brush pen or marker, you could also just go over the line again, kind of like this. That's one way of doing it. And it's also part of it. So I wouldn't mess with those. They're already done. You can go over these things kind of like this. double up on these lines here. Again, don't overwork it, and it goes together. So you kind of have like the thicker lines, the original sort of thin lines, and then like kind of the medium lines. I'll zoom into like these clouds and I'll show like the before picture, like I said. So in these clouds, they were pretty simple. I mean, I think in yesterday's video, I just kind of like did this line right here. There's just different treatments for them. So I'm going to go over like my thought process. So one, I'm moving the paper because it's pen and ink. So it just depends on the medium you're using. The line quality counts for a lot. That's why I like it. It can be more challenging. I like the look of it, but you have to be pretty deliberate about things. So one thing, for example, is, so some of these lines here, these little stippling lines, you might want to turn them into something. You might want to turn them into like part of the clouds and then just have these be like the birds and stuff. So it's kind of up to you. And I put like these lines. And so like they mean something, especially if you're using pen and ink. But I mean, in general, I mean, you could be painting this, but that's like its own topic. Another thing to think about is with like the clouds. So these are dark, like they're darker than those. I mean, that's kind of a nice look. So, but like maybe as I'm kind of squinting at it, I might think this could have a little bit more form. Like how do you bring like these out a little bit more? Part of that is, it has to do with incorporating like these little stippling dot things. And that's why I like to be kind of loose when I'm sketching stuff, because stuff like that can be used for sort of spontaneous kind of like compositional. So yeah, this is like a compositional trick. So for example, let's say that I want to have some definition, like that's definition, and that's detail, because this is the big shape right here. That's like a big shape, kind of a flat shape. But then you can make it look like a smaller shape. You could have outlined it kind of like this. That creates a shape, or you could do this. So I'm just following along here. So kind of like that. And just take your time with that part. So like right here. So I'm just incorporating this look, but notice that it looks more detailed because I made smaller shapes. I would think about that even more than this idea of like form and stuff, is the idea of, so the pen stroke is a shape, just like with these leaves. These are just shapes, and sometimes the shape can be made by like the pen, because even like the thin pen versus like the medium point versus the brush, they're just different shapes. Another thing is you can start to like have more definition. So for example, these clouds, they look further forward than like, that looks like it can also be a cloud. So I'll put up the before picture so you can see the difference. But I'm shifting the paper because the pen strokes do matter. So right now this is kind of one shape, but it's starting to be like two different shapes, like right here. If you want the shapes to be more definite, you could do this. And it's a gradation. I'm just going from light to dark. But notice that I'm creating small shapes so it looks detailed. But everything is relative. So that means even value is relative. So shapes are also relative. You might want to think about like, why does that look further back than this? Part of it is the edges. Like this is outlined, and then that's not outlined, but I could outline it. So that's just something to kind of think about. So over here, I looked up like a flock of birds. So some of this may not be, may just be the clouds, and then the birds are sort of like right here. But that's what I mean by just kind of being gradual about it. That may be all the details they need for birds. For this area, these were just kind of cartoony clouds, but I sort of, just drew them pretty basic. The big thing is the shadows that can fall on the clouds. and kind of give them like a shadow or like a mid-tone, which is what this is. And one thing, a lot of it is experimental with pen and ink. So for example, you might wonder to yourself, these may or may not be clouds, but to me they kind of look like part of the mountain or something. But it could also be part of the clouds, but I kind of like that it sort of looks like the shadows are being cast. So part of it is, since everything is relative, like I like to say, and I've been saying it more often because that's what I've noticed, is that for some reason you can do this and it doesn't look like grass, for example. Like it doesn't look like the mountain, it looks like clouds. But then this can also look like the mountain, but it can also look like clouds. And that's what I mean by like things being like relative, because when you first put this down like this, they all kind of look like the same texture, or they all kind of look like the same thing. The next level would be like where you start to define things, which is like cooking the meal. It could kind of go in different directions. So like these lines can kind of look like lines that are on like the mountains, like rock texture. But then the next step is sort of to define, because each picture kind of has its own language, kind of like a song kind of has like its own like instruments and chords and stuff like that. So the next thing would be to start to state, basically, it's kind of hard to explain, but I can kind of see where like that could be clouds. And so that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like this could actually be a cloud, like that's forward, or this could be a cloud that's in front of like these clouds. So it's just a choice. Sometimes you might get that idea from a picture. In this case, that wasn't from a picture, but I can kind of see it. But I like the idea of making this right here become like a cloud that's sitting in front of those clouds. But you see what I mean? Like I could make these clouds be in front of those. It's just kind of up to you. I'm just going to go in the same direction, and that's why it's an experiment. So I'm just going to do this. And be kind of like, use like sort of a medium grip with it, kind of like this. Now I'm wanting to sort of explain the thought process, but sometimes I'll just kind of get an idea and then just kind of go with it. So for example, if I want to define that, but I've done this a while and you can mess up the feel of it. That's why I wanted to talk about like why does that look like clouds but not mountains, although it actually could be part of the mountains, because these kinds of pictures, they have a lot of atmosphere going on. So, and that's okay. Kind of the same with this. Like, let's say that I kind of like the shadowy kind of thing. So I can just go like this. And right now I'm just using like the fine point. So finally, to kind of wrap up, I'll talk about like this part, because it looks like that's kind of a focal point. So you could always do this with thumbnails before you actually get to this point, and that's why thumbnails are kind of, I'll do some videos. I mean, I've done several, but I could always do some more. So in the reference photo that I have, like of the tree on the mountain, it has its own sort of value scheme, and I only picked it mainly because it looked interesting and it kind of went with this. But it's turning into an illustration. This illustration has its own value scheme. So for example, this looks like it's in the back, and then looks like clouds, and then it looks like the horizon is kind of somewhere like right here. So you could emphasize that. That might be kind of a good thing. And then that kind of looks like it could be mountains in the distance. So again, these are compositional tricks. So you might want to start to emphasize it a little bit. So let's just do maybe kind of like this. I'm using the thin line. And for these far off mountains here, so yeah, I'm just using a pretty thin line. So again, that was a decision. There's not like an exact photo of this, but the decision was to make this be like the horizon far off in the distance, and then this will be like, again, this could also be shaded. It's up to you. But that's why I say like to do it kind of gradually. Again, thumbnails do help, but you don't have to have a thumbnail if you just sort of do this in steps. Even if the reference photo doesn't look exactly like this is its own sort of composition, it can still give you ideas, like for example, like the contrast, like the values. That's really what I like reference photos for, is the values really help. So for example, it gives me ideas to make this, to push this value right here. So I'm going to just push the value. So for example, this. So I'm kind of cross-hatching here, kind of going, because to kind of make it stand out. So the photos sort of help me to see like I can push that. In a way, this will have like a lot of, I mean, this may or may not have a lot of detail. It just depends. That's why I just be gradual about stuff like that. So one thing I wanted to go over was these look kind of a little more cartoony, if you will, and that's okay. You can fix that. You can make it look a little bit less like that. So for example, like this with this, you can use that to kind of blend these edges. So you can so kind of like that. And then, so basically you can clean it up, but it also adds detail because of the finer line, because those are actually shapes. As you're introducing shapes. So that's one way of cleaning that up. Yeah, like I would do it gradually and start and just keep kind of pushing those values. Same with this. You can decide that you'll have that same kind of effect. And just do this gradation right here. And that, again, that wasn't from reference. It's just a design choice. And again, because everything is relative, these clouds look a little clunky compared to, let's say, these look a little bit like finer clouds. And that's okay, especially if you start to detail things, then that'll just kind of blend in with the background. Same with, if you want it to look a little bit cleaner, you can use these finer lines like this. Now I got the idea for kind of the lighting just from pictures of clouds, because sometimes clouds, they have these like shadows like on the face of the cloud. But this is one way to refine it. So that's kind of a lot of things. I would recommend, if you're not to the point where you can have so many elements in one composition, you might want to just focus on the clouds and then the mountains, or like just the tree like on the mountain, or just like the leaves or whatever, and then just kind of work your way up to this. Initially, that's what I did, and then you'll kind of mess up because you'll overwork it or something, and then yeah, and just you'll get better at it. That'll be it for today. I'll continue. I'm going to work on this some more, and then, but yeah, I think that'll give you some things to think about and play around with. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me for our daily sketching routine. And if you enjoy these videos, please support the channel. I appreciate it. And until next time, keep on sketching.